स्वयं रूपा कथमहं कराति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सहनरघुनाथं ततं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहनललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये।
Hare Krishna. Today, as you all know, there are so many festivals all appearing on this very auspicious day, Basant Panchami. 2 dates in Indian calendar for all the practicing people of Vedic calendar are very auspicious. One is the Akshaya Tritiya, which comes in Chaitra, and the other is Basant Panchami. Lot of people have many auspicious ceremonies started on these 2 days. So 4 of our acharyas in Gaudiya Parampara, they have their appearance day. You have heard a lot about Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Every time we go to Raj Mandal, we go to the Samadhi Sthal of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and we hear also his appearance and disappearance, they both come. You have heard to some extent about Srila Vishnupriya Devi also. You all know about Raghunandan Thakur also, one who offered Laddu to Gopinath. We went to Srikhand also. But I don't think any of you know much about Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Who can speak on Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur for 5 minutes? Please volunteer. Pranav, how much do you know about Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavanam. I know only 2 points. He is the spiritual master of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and he wrote Guru Vastakam prayers.
Yes, most important thing that we all know is that he wrote the Guru Ashtakam prayers. I'm not sure he was not the spiritual master of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji. He was the spiritual master of Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan. He came much earlier than Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So the daily prayers of Guru Ashtakam that we recite is composed by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Actually, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is an incarnation of Srila Rupa Goswami. He is Bhakti Rasacharya. So I prefer to speak today on Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur appeared after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared nearly after 100 years. Even more, because his exact date of birth is not mentioned. In some places it is mentioned that he appeared in 1638, and in some place it is said that it is with 1656. But for sure, he appeared in this era only. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he disappeared. Which year, Pradeep? What was the disappearance year of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You should know quickly. You should reply. Purushottam?
1486.
Huh? 1486 is his appearance, Baba. That is where he manifested himself. 1486. What was his disappearance years? What happened, Ramya? You are not having electricity?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Achha. You, Pradeep, you don't know even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disappearance year. What a shame.
1534.
Now you would have found out in so much time. Yes, it is 1534. So definitely the appearance of Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is at least after the 100 years of disappearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he appeared in a time when that time was very, very difficult and turbulent times for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Because the teachings and the associates and the followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time had all become unmanifest. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, they were so much overwhelmed with the separation that none of them interacted with anyone. They were completely in seclusion, in isolation. And the six Goswamis who had flourished Vrindavan, that era was also completely over. Because after Srila Jiva Goswami left, the India was governed by Mughals, primarily Aurangzeb. And the pure personalities were not available. All those impure and pseudo practitioners, they became prominent. So this was very, very difficult time when Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur appeared, and his appearance is in a place called Devagram. This is in Nadia, near in Nadia district. And he was born to the parents who were Brahmins. They were the Rahaiya Brahmins. He also had two elder brothers. He was the youngest son. He had two elder brothers. And since his birth, he had only one interest and inclination, that he would hear Hari Katha. And he had special fascination towards Srimad Bhagavatam. He was so much captivated and fascinated by Srimad Bhagavatam that he would study Srimad Bhagavatam entire day from his infancy, from his childhood. So he was very proficient in studies in Sanskrit, particularly since his birth. He was a prodigy. And after completing his studies, the primary school studies, he went to Sahiabad. There's a place called Sahiabad in the Murshidabad district. This Murshidabad district, which great Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lineage, which personality comes from Murshidabad? Anyone knows? You should remember, you should be able to remember all these great personalities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the places associated with them. Yesterday, was reading one verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving a very profound benediction. He is saying that anyone who remembers these personalities, for him, the bondage of material existence will be terminated. Brahmanda Tarite Shakti Dhare Jane Jane. Mahaprabhu's associates are so much empowered that they can deliver the entire universe, what to speak of a person. Who comes from Murshidabad district? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates. Shri Narottam Das Thakur. Shri Narottam Das Thakur. So he went far from Nadia. He went to Murshidabad district. And from the lineage of Shri Narottam Das Thakur, there was a personality called Ganga Narayan Chakravarti. Any one of you remember, so many times I have been given the opportunity to glorify Shri Narottam Das Thakur. At least 10 times in last 10 years. Shri Narottam Das Thakur had one of very prominent disciples, Shri Ganga Narayan Chakravarti. And Ganga Narayan Chakravarti was a great scholar, Pandit Brahman, well known in Murshidabad district. And Ganga Narayan Chakravarti had one disciple. And that disciple had another disciple called Radharaman Chakravarti. Yeah. Ganga Narayan Chakravarti's disciple was Krishna Charan Chakravarti. And Krishna Charan Chakravarti had a disciple called Radharaman Chakravarti. So when Vishwanath, the young Vishwanath, he went from Devagram, he went to Sahiabad, and from Sahiabad he went to Murshidabad. Sahiabad is in Murshidabad. So he got the association of these exalted Vaishnavas. You see, this is how we see in the life of all the Acharyas, that there is a intervention in their life. And what is the intervention? That these exalted associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or great devotees, they enter into the life of these Acharyas. And as soon as these personalities enter the life of the Acharya who are in infancy, they change forever. So when in Sahiabad, Vishwanath got the association of Radharaman Chakravarti. So Radharaman Chakravarti taught him Srimad Bhagavatam at great length. And this was the most favorable activity of Vishwanath. So he was very, very satisfied. Day and night he would serve his spiritual master and learn Srimad Bhagavatam from him. And when his study of Srimad Bhagavatam was done, he asked his elder brothers, Ram, Bhadra and Raghunath, that now I desire to go to Vrindavan. But before he could go to Vrindavan, his brothers told him that you study Srimad Bhagavatam one more time. After completing the entire Bhagavatam, he was told by his brother that you please study the Bhagavatam one more time, and this time you make a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam. Make a copy means not photocopy, handwritten copy. So Vishwanath was very satisfied, very happy, because he got another opportunity to study, and not only to study but to write the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So he very happily did this service, and after having a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam with him, he carried that copy to Vrindavan. And when he reached Vrindavan, he was completely taken aback. He could not believe that what he reached the place is Vrindavan, because there was nothing manifest in Vrindavan. The temples were all broken, shattered. The deities had all moved on. The devotees were not there. So in such a situation, when Vishwanath Chakravarti found himself, so he started to again preach the principles of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very purely. and bring his teachings to the mass of people. But at that time, there were many up-sampradayas, the pseudo followers. There were many Sahajiyas and many Smarthas, and also very many Shaktas in Bengal. All of them vehemently opposed him. But he did not care. He did not care. And there was so much opposition because all the deities had moved. Sri Govind Dev had moved from Vrindavan to Jaipur. Sri Gopinath had also moved from Vrindavan to Jaipur. And Sri Madan Mohan Ji had also moved to Jaipur and then later to Karauli. Radha Vinod had left, and Radha Damodar had left, Radha Madhav had left, and all these other sections, they were opposing the worship of Srimati Radharani along with Lord Sri Krishna. Before our Avacharyas, especially before Sri Madhavendra Puri, if you see in the history, there is no mention of Srimati Radharani. It used to be Krishna alone. It is only after the advent of Lord Sripad Madhavendra Puri that Srimati Radharani was placed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to personally send. For Govind Dev, he sent Radharani from Bengal. Also for Gopinath Ji deity, he sent Radharani. And even for Madan Mohan Janma Devi sent. So before that, there was no history of worshipping Radha Krishna together, because that worship is the highest form of worship. So there was so much opposition by the other sections of the religious groups not to worship Srimati Radharani along with Govind Dev, Gopinath and Madan Mohan. They all sharply objected to it, and they criticized that where in Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned about Srimati Radharani, and where it is mentioned that Srimati Radharani should be worshipped along with Krishna. So there was very much opposition and challenge. And the king in Jaipur, he was a Vaishnava, but he was not very strong. So he was succumbing to the pressure given by other religion groups. And he wrote to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that the present situation, I cannot put things in proper perspective. You have to come here in Jaipur and defeat all these challenges by giving evidences from the Shastras. But at that time, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was very severely sick, and he had advanced in age also. It was not possible for him to travel and go to Jaipur. So before that, he had one young person approaching him to study Srimad Bhagavatam, and that was Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan. Baldev Vidyabhushan was originally coming from South India, from Udupi, and he was following the message of Sri Madhvacharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also accepted Madhvacharya, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers accept the teachings of Lord Chaitanya more than anyone else. So Lord Chaitanya gave the doctrine of Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva, the simultaneous oneness and difference of the living entity and the Supreme Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, when he saw this challenge, he wanted to himself personally go and remove the confusion that was there in the hearts of other religion groups, but his health was not permitting. So this young man, who was from the Madhva Sampradaya, he had approached Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and taken his shelter. That was Sripad Baldev Vidyabhushan. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur directed Baldev Vidyabhushan to prepare for the challenge which was there in Jaipur. And we all know what happened. And by the inspiration and guidance of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baldev Vidyabhushan, he was able to give his own commentary on Vedanta Sutra and completely smash the arguments given by the opposing group. So in this way, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and his disciple Baldev Vidyabhushan, they again established the supremacy of the Gaudiya Vaishnava principles. The highest form of worship is worship of Srimati Radharani. So that was done, though that was the major contribution. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur would write so many books. He was a profuse, a profound writer. His writing work continued throughout his life. And he would give commentary on all the acharyas, on all the writings of especially Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Especially Srila Rupa Goswami. Whatever Srila Rupa Goswami had written, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur had almost given commentary on each and every of the writings of Srila Rupa Goswami. So he was the guardian and the chief teacher among the Vaishnavas. And his name is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So his name has been named as, why he is named as Vishwanath? This God Ganadesh Deepika very nicely explains that Vishwasya Nath Rupo Saubhakti Vartma Pradarshana Bhakta Chakre Vartitatvat Chakravarti Akhayo Abhavat. So Vishwasya Nath Rupa. Who is the Nath of this universe? It is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Or you may call even Krishna. Vishwasya Nath Rupa. Who is the Lord of the universe? Krishna says, Bhokta Nam Yagitapasham Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. And he is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What is his action is? What his activities is? He is saying, Vishwasya Nath Rupa Sau Bhakti Vartma Pradarshana. So he is considered, he gave the Nath, the shelter to everyone. How? By connecting everyone to Krishna. So he is also to be respected as the Supreme Lord. Vishwasya Nath Rupa. That he is considered identical with the Lord of the universe. Why? Because he is bestowing Saubhakti Vartama Pradarshanath. That he is giving the process of how to adopt the process of pure devotional service. And Bhakti Chakre Vartitvat. Bhakti Chakre Vartitvat. He was one of the foremost devotees amongst all the assemblies. So Bhakti Chakre Vartitvat Chakravarto Akhya Bhavat. Chakravarti Akhya Bhavat. Because he revealed the path of devotion to everyone. He revealed the identity of the Lord to everyone. So he is known as Vishwanath Chakravarti. And because he was predominant in his cycles of Vaishnava, he is entitled as Vishwanath Chakravarti. So in this way, he was profusely writing while he was in Vrindavan, but he never criticized anyone. And he was giving his very exalted commentary on the literatures given by the Goswamis. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote Bengali songs under the pen name of Hari Vallabh. Another name of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was Hari Vallabh. And he was so renounced, he was so detached that he lived very austere life while he was in Vrindavan. He had only one engagement, and that was to present the commentaries of the acharyas in such a way so that even common man can understand it. So he gave a list of books, and these books are many in numbers. After Rup Goswami, he is one of the most prolific writers. So he wrote Vrajariti Chintamani, Chamatkar Chandrika, Prem Samuptaha, Gitavali Subodhini commentary to Alankar Kaustubh, Anand Chandrika commentary to Ujjwal Nilmali, and commentary on Gopal Tapni Upanishad, Shri Krishna Bhavanamrit, Srimad Bhagavatam commentary, and Vishresh Rup se his commentary on the 10th canto, Shararth Darshini. Very famous Shararth Darshini commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Those who are sincere and serious in studying of Srimad Bhagavatam, they refer this Sararth Darshini. And he also gave a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, which is Sararth Varshini. In this way, we see that he wrote more than 100 books at that time. There was a lot of opposition from the caste Brahmins, because the caste Brahmins would never accept the supremacy of those who are not coming from their family lineage. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur had to face a lot of opposition from the caste Brahmins also. But by his purity and by his disciples' preaching, it was all very much subsidized. So we see the contribution, and yes, another big contribution, that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur established the deities of Radha Gokulananda. Radha Gokulananda temple is there just behind Radha Raman temple. I don't know how many of you have seen Radha Gokulananda. But when he was in Vrindavan and writing his books, one day a very young Brajvasi came, and he came and said that there is a deity, and this deity wants to take service from you. So when Vishwanath heard it, Vishwanath folded his hand and said that I cannot keep a deity with me because I have no fixed schedule. It will be an offense. I cannot accept this deity. The next day, the deity came in the dreams of Vishwanath and said that I want to take service from you. You please accept. And in this way, we see Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur established Sri Radha Golukananda temple. And there are 3 permanent vigraha there, the deity form of Lord, which were carved by Maharaj Vajranath. Okay, so in this way, we see that he and his disciple, Shripad Baldev Vidya Bhushan, they defeated the pseudo Vaishnava philosophies of so many other religious sects. They established the pure teachings and principles of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and inspired many to take shelter and guidance from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have another very important point of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Sararth Varshani Tika. Sararth Varshani is for Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada revealed later to his followers and disciples that when Srila Prabhupada, after taking one prasad, Srila Prabhupada took one prasad and he stayed in Delhi. At that time, Srila Prabhupada was reading the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And when he read this commentary, one of the aspect of his commentary, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, explained about the words Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. This is second chapter, 41st verse. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kurunandana. So Srila Prabhupada, when he read the commentary, in his commentary, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is stating that Vyavasayatmika Buddhi is not possible for everyone. It is possible only for those people who are very strict and very sincere in following their guru's instruction. So when Srila Prabhupada read this commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was at that time in Vanprasth, most likely in Jhansi. So Prabhupada made a resolve. Prabhupada left Jhansi, came back to Delhi, and from there he started to scheme how to reach New York. So this instruction which was given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur became a great source of inspiration for Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, accepting the orders of his spiritual master and the teachings given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he decided to go to America and start the worldwide movement. And now we know how this movement is. So we all are very indebted actually to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Because if he would not have given that commentary on Bhagavad Gita, and Srila Prabhupada would have not traveled to US, we would have never got the opportunity to practice bhakti. And as I said that every day morning, our day begins with the composition of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Guru Ashtakam, Sansar Davana Lead Aloka. So we pray to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that another very important feature of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was that when he used to write commentaries, he used to enter into the scene. He used to enter into that pastime place or the pastime which he was writing. That is why he was able to give such details. When you will read, someday you will read the commentaries of Srimad Bhagavatam. There you will see how much is the contribution of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He established the Gokulanand deities and he wrote the Guru Ashtakam prayers. And he also gave commentaries, very special commentaries on the Sanskrit and Bengali verses, and gave the opportunity for all of us to practice devotional service. Okay, I'm stopping here. I'm exhausted. In the morning, I spoke about almost all the personalities, especially why do we celebrate Saraswati Puja? Please hear that. Because we are not celebrating what the entire world is celebrating. And I really doubt most of you know that what form of Saraswati we are celebrating as Saraswati Puja. Otherwise, how is it possible that in our Vaishnav calendar, a demigod worship can be mentioned? It is not possible. So who is Saraswati Devi who is to be worshipped? And what is worship is the best worship for her? This is all revealed there. I'll stop here. If somebody has anything to speak, please speak. Also, Basant Panchami, Basant has not started. Basant will start in end of February. This is still Shishir. But we observe Basant Panchami in the month of Shishir every year. What is the secret? Who knows? Today we celebrated Panchami, Vasant Panchami, the 5 days of Vasant. No, Vasant is still far ahead. This is Shishir or Sheet. Why we are celebrating Vasant Panchami now, when Vasant has not started? Who knows? You should know, you should be knowing. that what is the purpose, what is the reason. Pranav, you know?
No, no, Prabhuji.
Yes, Ramya, बोलिए.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। एक्चुअली आज के क्लास में आपने बताया था, तो मैंने जो समझा कि एक जो फाल्गुना पूर्णिमा है वो चैतन्य महाप्रभु का अपीयरेंस डे है, और उस दिन होली मनाते हैं, तो व्रत से आज से ही होली का शुरुआत हो जाता है। तो बसंत की जो उत्सव है वो आज से ही शुरू हो जाता है। और आपने बताया था कि आज के दिन भगवान गोवर्धन में अपना जो बसंतकालीन रासलीला करते हैं।
Yes. Yes. Actually, the festivity starts. From this day today, the excessive winter actually terminates. तो जो विंटर में क्या होता है कि सारा जकड़न हो जाता है ना, सब कुछ जकड़ जाता है। अभी क्या है, हाथ भी बंद है, मुंह भी बंद है, सब कुछ बंद करके रखा हुआ है, वो इतना शीत होता है। So there is relief, freedom from this excessive cold, and there is this crop which becomes mature, the crops of particularly the mustard crop. And we see everywhere the yellow flowers. If you go to the countryside, if you go outside the city, you will see in the vegetation land, you will see all yellow flowers blossoming everywhere. So there is a new release of energy, there is a new release of freshness. So it is all pointing us towards Vasant. Vasant is the king of all the seasons, where flowers blossom the best. So from today, the festivity begins to commemorate this event, which is going to come after 40 days. So 40 days of festivity before the actual event takes place. Okay, and which Saraswati are we worshipping? Krishna says, Kamastasta hite jnana prapadyante anadevata. So is he diluting what he has spoken in Bhagavad Gita? Anyone does not know? You don't know which Saraswati? Rama, you have heard, so you would be knowing. I spoke about it in the morning. We are not celebrating that Saraswati puja, what people are doing outside everywhere. It is not that celebration. We should know which Saraswati we have to worship and who is actually Saraswati. Okay, I'll stop here. श्री बसंत पंचमी महोत्सव की जाए, यहाँ श्री सरस्वती पूजा की जाए. Srila Pundrik Vidyanidhi's appearance day is also there today. Srila Raghunandan Thakur's appearance day. Srila Vishnu Priya Devi's appearance day. And Sri Raghunath Das Goswami's appearance day. And disappearance of Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur. Hare Krishna.